And if you're joining me, let me know in the comments. Say hello. And it does look like I'm streaming to Facebook and to YouTube. So wherever you're coming from, let me know you're here. Say hello. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time, let me know that too. Oh, and my hair. I probably could use a haircut, but I'm not in any rush for that. Hey, good to see you, Jamie. Thanks for joining us. Hello to you. What do I have in store for you today? It's been a hectic morning. I just got off one meeting with a couple other 48 days facilitators, and I had to leave just a couple minutes shy of closing in order to join you. But you're important to me, each and every one of you. Will, I hope you're going to join us today because I'm going to use an example from you. Jamie, you said that before, and I did not forget it. Thank you. Jamie said, my hair is good. I'm playing it out and see what happens. It feels good when I'm sitting at the beach. I have the answer. I have the answer to everything for you today. That may be true. I guess it depends on your perspective. Hey, if you're just joining us, say hello. And I'll remind you that we do have a Facebook community where we can continue the conversation. And if you are part of the community, you'll see that there's a pretty good conversation going on there last night and today. So thanks, Will, for jumping in there and sharing so much with us. I appreciate that. I'm going to use an example from you today. We won't go into detail here. Well, let me get started. So the topic today, what does this make possible? Is that the answer to everything, Jamie? Maybe so. Have you ever considered how most people approach change? I know I have. And I think one of my first days talking to you live was really about approaching change, navigating change. Well, today's thoughts are sort of inspired by all of the craziness in the world around us right now. There's people are hurting. That's the bottom line. And my heart goes out to each and every one of you, especially if you're directly impacted by the events that COVID-19 has brought upon our world. I don't have answers for that. And I don't know that our topic for today, which is what does this make possible, is an answer for that either. Maybe it is. We'll get to that in a second. So everything that's going on is definitely challenging. And I think for the foreseeable future, as we look at the issues with starting school in the fall here shortly, right? States increasing restrictions yet again, and people continuing to be laid off, put out of work, and losing the income that they need. I'll just say it. Shit's crazy. And it can be hard. It is hard. But what if? There's a lot of people asking themselves right now, what am I going to do? They might be spiraling down this negative path of emotion, fear, doubt, worry, negative self-talk, all of those things. But what if? What if we approached it from a different perspective? Rather than looking at all of the ways change has directly negatively impacted you, regardless of how it came about. What if you decided to ask yourself, what does this make possible for me? And here's where I include Will as my example today. What would laying out a framework, Will, that could teach you, that you could use to teach others to speak about this framework and guide other people to learning how to navigate and identify deals in the housing market? What would that make possible for you if you were to do that? Jamie, since you're here, what would it make possible for you if suddenly tomorrow you woke up and you weren't able to go back to the work that you already know? I think most of us would react in that situation and think about all of the negative things that and the impacts that it would have, rather than looking at all of the possibilities that it opens for us. So I'm going back to Will. If you were to sell that course, Will, what would that make possible? How could that impact the other areas of your life? Could you build something that would allow you to spend more time with your children, your family, your friends? Could you have more control over how you spend that time? Your time. What are the possibilities? What does this make possible for me? That's what I want to talk. That's what I want to leave today in your mind, if nothing else, is to think about the situation that you're facing today. Good, bad, indifferent, negative, positive, doesn't matter. I want you to think about something that happens in your day today and ask yourself that simple question. What does this make possible? Now, I do have, I thought about a couple challenges I could present to you today. And well, before I get to my challenges, because I owe you plenty of time. So I want to hear from you the things that you're thinking about as a result of what I just shared with you. Let me know in the comments, what does this make possible? You know, just doing these live streams with you, what does this make possible for me? I can imagine all kinds of things. And to be honest with you, just taking action to do this, all of the things that go with it have led me to so many different places. It's led me to start dreaming of a possible future in so many different ways, and it's refreshing. Um, yeah, so share with me something that you think about with today's topic. I'd love to hear it. So I'll go to the comments, and then I'm going to share a couple challenges with you for today. So Jamie says that is the answer. Okay, I appreciate that, Jamie. It may be the answer. Instead of looking at our lives and all of the negative impact that COVID-19 has caused for us, maybe you are out of work, but maybe you weren't really happy there. And maybe this opens new doors, new futures, new possibilities. I think certainly something to consider, right? And Will says, that is a big question. I agree, Will. It is a big question, although it's a simple statement. And I think we're talking about the course material that I referenced for you, Will. And you know, I'm just throwing out ideas. You know, I'm not saying that that's your future, of course, but it definitely could open up possibilities for you if you didn't get swallowed up by it. And then if you did get swallowed up by it, what possibilities does that open for you? And Jamie's got a long one here. Let's see. Well, to be completely honest, I've always said that my backup job is being a okay, being a hooker on Fry and 7th here in Sierra Vista. If you're not familiar with the area, well, I guess that's more of an inside joke then, isn't it? But Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista is well known for those that have ventured through that area. If I could not go back to what I know, I would try and learn something new. I have not ever gone back to analyst work, Jamie being a prior analyst in the military. I've always been willing to take a leap into a new experience. I have done that a few times now. I've nothing written down about a permanent forward as of now. Well, I've got a special treat for you, Jamie. And Will says, indeed, yes. Brian shared a video on Vimeo. I can't watch it while I'm doing this live stream, but I will go back and check that out, Brian. Thanks for joining us. So here's my, I don't know how to hide these comments once I show them. Let's see. Nope, that doesn't do it. Jamie says her defense mechanism is humor. Don't apologize for being you, Jamie. Yeah, so Fry, yeah, don't do that. Although, if that's really what you would like to pursue as a future, I don't hold anything back. That's what I would share with you. And don't you still owe me a video, you playing the piano or the flute? So, and Brian, I'm not sure. Can you clarify for me? You said just the question. I'm not positive what you're saying here, but I will go back and watch the video link you posted. Just and if that helps me clarify, no worries. Yeah. So today's challenges. Here's your special treat. Number one, I want you to take some time today, if you can carve it out. I know it's hard, to write down something that you would love to achieve. Then I want you to think about it. If you were able to achieve this thing, what would that make possible? Angela, yes. Will's defense mechanism is humor too. Is that a military thing? I'd have to say that, and you put a JK in there, but for just kidding, but there is some truth to that. I don't know if it's a learned behavior, if it's a taught behavior, but it seems that those of us that come from the military community often will revert to humor. You know, that is our way of dealing sometimes with difficult and stressful situations when you have to continue moving forward in a direction with so many unknowns, yet so many scary possibilities. You know, situations that you might encounter in the military often come with that territory, and humor is a way to vent while continuing. There might be some kidding to that statement, Angela. Thank you for joining us. So back to my challenge. Yeah, so first, number one, take time today to write something down that you would love to achieve. Then I want you to think about it. And I want you to ask the question, what would achieving that thing make possible for me? That's number one. Number two, this is a tough one. This is your special treat, Jamie. I want you to write down one impossible goal. And I mean impossible. I don't mean something that seems impossible. If you write it down and you think, well, you know, if I got a raise tomorrow, then it might actually be possible. If I were to just carve out 10 more minutes a day, it might actually be possible. Nope, not good enough. I want you to write down one impossible goal. If purchasing a private jet by the end of this year is impossible for you, and it's something you would ultimately like to achieve as a dream, there you go. Whatever that is for you, I want you to think about it. Write down something that you would just dream of achieving in your future. Put a timeline on it for the end of the year, that impossible goal. But that's not it. Next, I want you to make a plan. I want you to make a plan to fail 50 times before the end of the year. That's 25 times over the next quarter and 25 more times over the following quarter. Can you do that? Brian says to pay off the house this year. Is that impossible for you, Brian? I'm not sure what your mortgage looks like or how much you owe and what your income is, but if that is an impossible goal for you, then absolutely write that down. and then make a plan to work toward achieving it, planning to fail at least 25 times over the next quarter and 25 more times over the following quarter. And think about that for a minute. What would change in your life right now over the next quarter if you start working towards trying to achieve your impossible goal and failing 25 times toward that goal over the next quarter? Do you think something in your life might change? Yes, Jamie, just for this year. I want you to put a timeline on it for the end of this year. And honestly, you could put the next year on it, but well, I've been pausing some too, Angela. Angela says it's lagging on a PC, but not on mobile. But if you're watching anywhere near Will, then I could see how you might notice. Um, YouTube apparently is a better stream for those interested, and I think I think I fixed the bugs on that, and I'm live there as well. Anyway, yeah, put a timeline on it for this year, Jamie, if possible, and then make that plan to fail 25 times over the next 2 quarters. If you were going to give yourself a full year, I would just expand that timeline 25 times per quarter. That's planning to fail 100 times toward achieving your impossible goal over the next year. And I just shortened it for the remainder of the year. Do you think that would change something in your life? So Angela says, I'd like to be done with the test I'm working on within this year. Is that impossible? If it is possible, if you dedicate your time and energy to achieving it, and it is possible, that's not the goal I want you to write down. I want you to write that one down also, but I want you to focus right this time and energy on something that is unreal, maybe not unrealistic, like, but impossible, right? You're probably not at this stage in your life going to be the next astronaut. That's unrealistic. Maybe not, but if it is unrealistic for you, don't write that one down. I want it to be something that, if all the stars are lined, you could potentially do that in the future. Will says, I suppose making $1 million this year would be impossible. Then write that down, Will, and I want you to take action 25 times failing over the next quarter, the remainder of this quarter, rather. Pat, joining us from YouTube. Hey, Pat, good to see you. Pay off your truck and business debt. Is that unrealistic or is it impossible? Impossible would be the better question. Is it impossible, Pat, or is it possible? If it's impossible, then write that one down and work towards failing to achieve it. Ooh, have a wedding this year. And that is an impossible goal thanks to our current circumstances. Well, I would challenge that way of thinking, actually, because I think you could be creative in your approach. Maybe not a traditional wedding as we all think of it, but could you still do it? I think so. That might be, in this case, an unrealistic goal because of circumstances and environment. And that might not be the goal I would write down, Angela, but that is a good one. And Jamie says she fails on a regular basis. It feels weird to make myself fail on purpose on top of the regular unplanned failing I do on a daily basis. I love your brutal honesty. By the way, I spoke with Jamie on the phone yesterday. It was great to hear your voice. It's been a few years since we actually spoke in person, and so that was nice. It was a good treat. Thank you. So yeah, this one I want you to plan to fail on purpose and think about what that's enabling you to do. If you fail on purpose 25 times over the next 2.5 months, do you think you actually make some progress in other areas of your life? I think yes. Pat says it's probably not impossible, but it would take getting over a lot of other big bumps. Pat, yeah, I know we've chatted before, brother, and yeah, I want you to actually think about what that impossible goal is for you. You know, if that's actually something that could be achievable, you know, by removing a few limitations, then that's not the goal I want you to put down on paper today. I want you to put down that impossible goal, Pat. You know, do you have a dream of owning your own private jet? That's what I started this with. Then, and you couldn't purchase that by the end of this year, no matter how the stars aligned. Write that one down. What is it for you? So that's the message I wanted to share with you today. Well, so the message was, what does this make possible for me? When you're facing change, facing unexpected circumstances, facing adversity, facing all of these things, failure, think about, what does this make possible for me? So, yeah, there you go, Pat. Owning your own hotel, brother. That might be a good one. And then I want you to work towards achieving it, failing on purpose. And I bet you move closer to your dream. So what does that make possible? What today I'm not allowed to go and do the things that I want to do. But what does that make possible for me? Now I can spend more time creating, more time thinking about the message I wanted to share with you, more time focused on learning something new. There's lots of things that it makes possible for me. And that's the message. So, hey, I'm here for your comments, your questions, concerns. Feel free, of course, to join us in the Facebook group. Let me throw that back up here really quickly for those that might not know about it. So the Clarity Collective, if you can't find it, you can't get the link, whatever, send me a message and I'll make sure you get an invitation. Love to have you join us there and continue these conversations. And for those that have already started conversations there, thank you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here. You motivate me every day, knowing that I'm going to come here and talk with each of you. And I would say I love to see your faces, but I see these little circle pictures, right? I should post a picture of what it looks like. I'll share with you. If you haven't seen this tool, I'll post this in the Facebook group because it's just kind of funny. Yeah, so that's the message for today. Let me know what your questions, comments, concerns, challenges, frustrations, wins. I'd love to hear wins. That's a good one, Will. Instead of, I can't afford it, think instead, how can I afford it? And then, if I could afford it, what would that make possible for me? Odd question. Is there a way we can get a snapshot of my notes after my daily stream? Yes. I guess I could post in the Facebook group. I would probably have to clean them up a little, and I'll be honest with you that some of these are just on the fly. Some of them I actually have notes for. So I could potentially capture some of this in notes. And if I streamed from Zoom through these tools, I could probably just record the video. Of course, they're available for replay on Facebook. So notes, yes, I'll work on that. I'll try and clean them up a little bit and start focusing on how can I make them easy to interpret and be able to post them. Great question, Jamie. Thanks. All right. I guess. Oh, no, I'm not uncomfortable with it. I was just thinking about how do I capture all of it? So thanks, Jamie. I'll leave you with that. Think today, instead of crap, I failed at this again, or why is things just not going my way? Why are things just not going my way? Instead, look at whatever situation you're facing today, whatever circumstances you're facing today, and think about, what does this make possible for me? Jamie, I'm going to post notes. If you're keeping up with the comments, some of you on YouTube, Jamie says, "Don't do it. Don't want to cause you more trouble." It's fine. It really is. And if it would be helpful to any of you, I will certainly take the time to post them. In fact, I have some over here. Let's see. What can I do with these tools? I'm going to hang out with you for a minute and play with these tools. Let's see what I can do with them. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So I do have. Can you see that? No? How about now? Turn that one. Sure. More thanks, Jamie. Make me feel good about hanging out. I wished. Here's my impossible goal for today. This is just off the cuff, and I'm just kidding about the impossible goal. But I would love. You got sound back now? Will says we lost sound. Do we have sound? Hmm. Okay, good. Perfect. I didn't want to talk to you and not talk to you. I was going to say that I would really love for all of us to be able to get together and just have this conversation in person. So um, just know that I love this time with all of you. What do you want to talk about? I'll hang out. So let's see. Let's see if Angela was a teacher. Doesn't has discovered that she doesn't really want to be a teacher in her future. Jamie is a contractor in Arizona for the government, maybe. And then Pat owns a roofing business. His brother is a landscaper. Brennan's Roofing in Manassas, Virginia. Will is still active duty military, currently an instructor. Brian, I have to say, buddy, I don't remember off the top of my head if you're still here, what you do. Share with us, will you? Well, I don't want to hang out too long and just feel like I'm trying to have a conversation that feels forced because it's not really a two-way conversation other than these texts I keep getting. Um, oh, yep. Oh, well, okay. Well, congratulations. Jamie says she's actually a Govy. And for those of you that don't know, that means she's a government civilian, which is, um, well, it's highly coveted in the world of contracting. They want those positions. And so good for you, Jamie. And now you're in testing. I love it. I'm going to guess DSIGs. Just a guess. And you're welcome, Pat. Always happy to talk about what my friends do, especially if you're here to support me. I'm happy to support you. And I'll leave that. I'll leave on that note today. You know, if there's something I can do to support you right now, you know, if you need to get on the phone, if you just need to have a chat, if you need to think through something strategic, whatever it is, just shoot me a note. Let me know. I'm happy to support all of my friends. Angela, are you asking me how I like my current job? And Jamie says it's not forced. I'm good. Take care of me and my 48-day program. The program is Dan Miller's, but I'll take credit for my portion of it and my part in, or my contribution to helping people find and create the work they love. Thank you. Angela, if that question's for me, I love my vocation. I don't see what I'm doing as a job in a traditional sense. I enjoy coming in and thinking about how I'm going to serve my audience, you, my friends, today. I enjoy the problem solving that I get to do on a day to day basis for the marketing agencies I support, for the creatives that I provide technical support to on the marketing side. Um, Understanding the technology is fun, but the problem solving capacity, or the problem solving piece that it allows me to do, those people that trust in me to help them figure out how to make things work, building their strategies and creating their designs, and then how do they put it all together? I love that work. So it's wonderful. You know what I meant. Got it. Thank you. I just had to clarify in case he reads these messages. I want him to know that I'm giving credit where credit is due. But yeah, no, I really love what I'm doing. I'm building and creating a life that I can leave as a legacy, to hopefully leave an impact, make an impact on others, and well, my living a dream, right? Coming to work and doing things like this to discover how I can do more things I enjoy, what those look like, who might be interested in hearing those things or participating in those things, and it's all a big puzzle, and I enjoy the day to day of figuring that puzzle out too. Strategically thinking about how I can provide a better message, how I could craft my notes so that I can make them shareable. And, whatever it looks like, it's so much fun to come in and think through those things, and then come here and practice sharing in a forum that I'm just not completely used to yet. This is exactly what I'm telling you about. Building those dreams that I had put aside or tucked away or completely forgotten about has changed everything for me. So great question, and thank you for asking it. Angela, I hope you feel that way when you find your new career too. And if you stick with me here, my goal is to share with you the steps that you can take, not to find your career, but to uncover all of those things and then search for the career that best fits you. Does that make sense? Okay, so back to, that's what I'm going to leave you with. What does this make possible for me? And I can't help but think about all the things that this conversation makes possible for all of us. I hope that you'll take action on the two challenges I gave you today. And Jamie, yes, I will at least post those two challenges in the Facebook group if that would be beneficial. So awesome to see everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all, not in a weird way, but I truly mean it. Have a great day. We'll see you all tomorrow, same time. YouTube, Facebook. Let me know you're here tomorrow.